Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. If you're in Liberia, it's Christmas. I am getting prepared to go to our usual Christmas Eve party with my family, my mom, my siblings. We get to hang out around that time. So I'm getting prepared. But I also do have an obligation to those who support me on this Blue app to come in and let you know and say, Merry Christmas to you, per se. All right. So, I have Attorney Jackson here with me. Peter Query will be with me. Yeah, a lot of you see Peter on Facebook. He is he is a soldier, but what most of you don't know about him is Peter is an Ivy League educator. Yeah. And I know him personally. I've known him for what 9 years per se, and I can speak to that. Excellent coach, a nurturer who take children ask for talent. But I also have the no what do you call it, no nonsense speaking Attorney Jackson here to have a conversation with you. Um, so tonight we're literally gonna just at the dawn of the day on the heel of Christmas and a New Year, we come to talk to you about what is happening in our country, the essence of government, and some of the people in the corridor of power who power have gotten to their head to kind of bring it down. And then we're going to break it down for you. Okay? Let's bring Attorney Jackson on. Mr. Jackson, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good evening, my dear sister, and good evening, absolutely, to our listening audience, friends of Liberia and Liberians that are following your network this evening. It's a pleasure having me. I'm very happy to be with you tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to have you too. I'm looking forward to having Peter here so we can have a conversation. I know around this time last year we have chosen I'm saying we in respect to the majority, and it's not metaphorically speaking. So I didn't choose, but if the majority say in democracy, then we have chosen a leader. Um, in the hope of rescue. I'm not gonna say change, rescue. Meaning our people were drowning and they needed to be safe and put on hard ground to walk and impact their lives, that they would direct their own path. Um, I actually can't wait for January to hear the report. And some of us will be doing some analysis. We have a lot of press releases. We have a lot of my team, the IJG, the Movement for Justice, have compiled a year worth of evidence as to this government journey to publish that. And that's when we are going to speak loud and clear. But today we want to talk about things that are happening. And I'll come to you first with the essence of government. Let me say the attorney before you come in, and I'm gonna give Liberian people a dictionary meaning, and then I'm gonna sort of kind of just put it in a short term so we can understand the essence of a government. Okay, the dictionary says government is an organized system or institution through which a group of people or nation create, enforce laws, policies, decision to manage and regulate its affairs. It serves to provide structure, maintain order, ensure justice, and protect the rights and freedom of people. It also states government plays a crucial role in directing society by establishing system, policies, guidelines that shapes how individual and group interact, collaborates, and coexist. This direction ensured order, progress, and stability within a society, key ways in which government directs system. Okay, it sets the tone. Okay, uh, and let me bring it in my own ways that I understand it. The people, that's it. your country. Let's say God, your father, gave you your country. So it gave you resources. You're the people you desire, you will pick somebody among you to manage that resources so everybody can benefit. All right. So I'm not going to call anybody near my platform tonight. If anybody thinks because you are in the corridor of government or in the power that you will come on Facebook and insult, the next time I will not be merciful like this. Attorney Jackson, you know me.
Right.
You know me. I will not be this merciful. I'll call you out. All right. Looting from the state, stealing from the state is the same word. Loot, steal. When you loot, you steal at a higher level. Okay. That is very destructive. All right. That you're leaving people without food, you're leaving children without education, you're literally sabotaging your country. All right. And Attorney Jackson, one thing I heard today from Lofa County, from the president, it says to me, I'm sorry, I will make some of you mad. Papa Bouaka is a crook. He's a liar. He has no integrity. The deeper need that you all gave him, you all need to take it back, because if you don't take it back, that means all of you are liars, you're rogues. And you know what? That's why, Attorney Jackson, I don't do religion. Okay? What y'all do, most of you do in Liberia is being religious. Jesus was not religious. Jesus was spiritual. All right? Jesus spoke about loving your neighbors as yourself. Jesus spoke about forgiveness, giving people chances to create. You talk about creating a path, letting your light shine so other people can see you. But if a leader of a state is like me, telling my children in my house, it's okay to steal. So long when you steal, get your nieces and nephew, you just endorse. How do you direct society? You people are the role model. You people are supposed to set a tune. Attorney Jackson, I'm going to stop right there.
Again, I thank you. I mean, you know, it's quite a pleasure being here with you. I thank you for the intro. You know, my sister Bouaka. First, let me say Merry Christmas in advance to our people. Yes. I know there's not much to be merry about in Liberia, but as it is customary, we must share the compliments, the Christmas greetings. But, you know, my sister, if you allow me, I will say, and the evidence will support the thing I will say. Yeah, the evidence will support the thing I will say is that Mr. Bouaka is now a curse on Liberia democracy. He is categorically disgusting. He is a disgusting politician. And I think, like the British people will normally say, Bouaka is now a glutton for punishment. Somebody who is a glutton for punishment is somebody who just engages in doing bad things. They put their energy, their effort in doing bad things. They just double down in doing bad things. And because they do bad things so much, society has an obligation to punish that person or those people. I think the Liberian people, I think we have an obligation to now punish Mr. Bouaka for all that he's been able to do, the terrible things he's done to our country in this 1 year that he has had power for. I think these things are not going to get any better. I think it will just get worse. I think he will double down, because the first thing to advance any society, the first standard that we will uphold in advancing society is what? Morality. Morality is the standard by which we can advance society. Now we have a president who is openly promoting immorality when he says that people should steal, but they should use that to bless the community. It is a green light.
Yeah.
Criminals, and it's a way of basically facilitating criminality in society. And so when you talk about even his role in the church, I like to be very calm and sober in calling on the Baptist church. He's a Baptist deacon. I think it would be but proper and fitting for the Baptist church to scrape Mr. Boaka off the deacon title. I think he is a misrepresentation of the church and the title he carries. You can't be a deacon in a church and you come to the public and try and basically promote the facilitator of criminality or promote criminality in society. Is adverse to the teaching of the church. And I'm calling on the church because we can't do it in a political realm. I don't know whether our people will be able to take the streets to call on Mr. Boaka to step down, because he's saying things that are egregiously wrong. Not just saying things that are egregiously wrong, but he's doing things that are egregiously wrong. So, you know, it's a dark, dark day for Liberia, for the head of state. I knew since Mr. Boaka took upon himself to go to the court and testify falsely against Brother Cummings, I knew there and then that he didn't have the moral compass, that he was morally bankrupt. He continued to prove to our people that he is morally bankrupt. And this is a problem. This is a big problem. People will say, oh, he must have said this thing. He doesn't mean that one. But there are ample evidence to support the basis for Boaka's statement. Boaka has benefited from tainted generosity in the past. He benefited from those who stole from other people and blessed him. That's why he's emboldened today to say that other people should do likewise. Evidence is the brother in Japanese prison cell now, Joe Poto. Joe Poto is well known for being a con artist. He supported the Boaka campaign, and because he used some of his tinted gift and supported the Boaka campaign, Boaka gave him our diplomatic passport. He had to go away to Japan to scam people. I know this station has some friendly relationship with some of our friends, but even Brother Stanton Waterspoon, who is a self-confessed con artist, supported the Boaka campaign. So there are ample evidence to show that Brother Boaka has benefited from tinted generosity. That's why he would say in public brazenly that you must steal, but you must bless the people. Go to even what he's doing now with the bloody military junta in Guinea. Boaka has reduced our standard, our value system as Liberians. He is on his knee and sucking the bloody boots of the military junta and taking peacock truck from them. This also goes to say and to justify what he said. The military junta, I don't mind, even if they suspended the tenets of democracy. I don't mind how many people the military junta execute. As long as they can bless me with 10 peacock truck, they will be my friends. This is still Boaka. My sister, what he said is something that he's doing. He has not misspoken. He has benefited from tinted generosity. So for him, it matters little. As long as you can steal and bless him with the stealing, the loot, the product of the loot, he's good with it. And when somebody conducts himself like this as head of state, where you think the country is headed? He is dragging the country effectively to hell. And I think it is an obligation on the Liberian people to stand up and say enough is enough. You can't continue to make our country a laughing stock. Today, Liberia is a laughing stock. It's a complete laughing stock. We have a president who is a walking contradiction. A walking contradiction. We have a lot of things to chew on tonight, but sister, can you take Mr. Boaka seriously? This is Mr. Boaka who was standing even at that Capitol building and say he was condemning hooliganism, right? The military junta in Guinea, are they not hooligan? How can anybody sensible and intelligent argue that, oh, he was serious about condemning hooliganism when he's actively in bed with those who will kill people in manner not provided for in law. How can anybody sensibly tell us, anybody sentient can tell you, oh, that Bouaka eschews, Bouaka condemn, Bouaka is appalled, Bouaka doesn't like hooliganism. But meanwhile, Bouaka is taking 10 pickup truck for people who have no decent respect for critics in their country. The acceptance of critical view is what strengthens democracy everywhere around the world. The military junta is averse to critical views. And Bouaka taking pickup truck from those people says a lot about him. So people have put it on the fact that it's something like a quid pro quo, right? Because Mr. Bouaka, under the cover of darkness, surreptitiously gave to the military junta a brother who was escaping the wrath of that junta, ran to Liberia for rescue. That's why they gave him the pickup truck to tell him thank you. That conduct by Mr. Bouaka is violative of the international human rights and refugee laws. International human rights and refugee laws say when people, political people or critics of the government, wherever honor this heavy, when they are running away or when they run away from their country and come to your country, they should be covered, they should be protected. For us, Bouaka violated that. That's why you see, it is under that international human rights and refugee law that many Liberians can sometimes come here and claim political asylum. You are not supposed to return those people to the place where they are running away from. How much justice have the junta given to Sherry since they took Sherry back upon the directive of Mr. Bouaka? Sister, there's too many things going wrong in the country. Too many things going wrong in the country. Are you saying something? I can't get you.
Keep going. You're doing great.
I mean, I saw you say, I don't want to, but
no, go ahead.
I thought you were asking a question. That's why I paused. So, my sister, there are a whole lot of things. I'm encouraging Liberian people tonight. We are not talking politics. Don't take don't take my statement for it. Just basically abuse your mind of the fact that I come from, the opposition community. Take your own time and do an investigation of some of the things that are obtained in our country. Since taking power, Mr. Bouaka has fermented violence in the country. There's no if and end about it. Mr. Bouaka, when taking power, what the first thing they did? The police operating under the direction, under the instruction, the directive of Mr. Bouaka murdered 3 of Liberian citizens in Grand Cape County for exercising the Article 17 right.
They were protesting. Yes, they did.
Yes, the Article 17 right. Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution says, whenever we are aggrieved as citizens, we must assemble and petition our government to do right.
Right.
The people in Grand Cape County exercising their 17 right, 3 of those people were murdered by the Liberian police. Today, they are yet to account for what happened in Cape Town. The police have not stopped there. The police in recent time on Capitol Hill, under the instruction of Mr. Bouaka, brutalized some peaceful citizens who have gone there to protest, to exercise their Article 17 right. So things are bad in the country.
Attorney Jackson, hold on for me. Let me bring Peter on. But I want to say something to those of you who are writing, which is your right, okay? You're talking about the road yesterday. We have learned from yesterday, all right? And it's just like when somebody says Yeke should not speak. And I tell them, Yeke has every right to speak. Yeke is a survivor and a victim family like myself. Most of you don't know Yeke's brother was beheaded on their way trying to leave Monrovia. Most of you don't know this. Yeke is a product of a residual impact of what those greedy Liberian politicians did to us. When you all sit there and say, oh, why attorney talking, this is not, go, you don't have to be here, all right? For me, as a history teacher, history is very vital in the survival of a nation, all right? As somebody who educate people to take them on places, we are talking about where we are. If we don't talk about where we've been, okay, we wouldn't know where we are headed. So everything Attorney Jackson is saying, come back and debunk it and tell us it's a lie, all right? First, tell us it's a lie. Don't tell me what he said yesterday. We're talking about today now. Okay?
What did I?
Cabinet General live who have gone to the the ECOWAS, and this I'm sure it's going to go as far as the UN. Where do we not have 10 Pekatra in Liberia that were accepted by Bouaka? Was Sharif not turned over? Sharif could have been your brother, could be your brother, but you don't care so long it does not happen to you. Until it happens to your Liberian people, then you start screaming and want everybody else to come to your rescue. But until then, everything is in it. Let me bring Peter on, then you can come on. Hey Peter, okay. How are you? You didn't have to come on the camera though. Peter, you're not getting old. What's going on with you?
Peter, the man is defying nature. He getting younger.
I know you were saying because you're how about you, right? But that's okay. Welcome. Let's have a conversation. You know, we got an hour so we can go hang out with our family and talk about it. I am a little perplexed tonight, but I wanted to start. Attorney, we're talking. I'm going to let him finish his thought, and you're going to come in. First, as somebody who is an educator, to first and foremost tell us, you know, the role of a government, because most Liberian people don't know the role of a government. So long as their tribe that in power or is their political party that in power, they justify everything that they do. Okay, my theory or my way of putting it is, your father entrusts you to, or all of the whole family, to the properties, all right, your wealth. And then a few of you brothers and sisters say, you know what, we're going to choose Peter and maybe Jackson to lead this and distribute so all of us can have a part and have a balance of it, and so all of us can live well. Then the both of you decide, you know what, only me, my children, and my girlfriend will benefit, all right? Although that does not belong to you. It's for the whole nation. So maybe Liberian people have to understand the money, because when they say government, most of them don't understand the thing. When they give them back arrest, they're doing them a favor. They think when they steal from them and bring them the $20, $30, they're doing them a favor. They do not understand the wealth of the nation belong to them, and all of them is their taxes, is the funding from their resources, and all of that. So let's first start with you. What's the role of the government? Then you can delve into the things that you want to say. But I just want to do that because I want to set it too. I'm saying it other way so you can see it from maybe the layman terms or to the way the academia put it. Please. But let Attorney Jackson land.
So
he needs to learn.
As I was saying, I will summarize quickly because I want my respected colleague to come in and provide his take. The government is supposed to be serviceable to our people.
Yes.
The government demonstrated a sense of decency, a common sense of decency, when it drafted what we call the Code of Conduct. The Constitution is a bigger document. It's something that Bouaka is violating, that's what to regulate all of us conduct. No one is above the law. The law is superior to all social classes, and Mr. Bouaka should be aware. His lawyer should tell him that. But like I was saying, since coming to power, Mr. Bouaka has done violence to our Constitution, and it will be needless for us to repeat some of the things he's done. But I want to bring us to the Code of Conduct. And the reason why I'm bringing us to the Code of Conduct, because it's our country's sense of common decency. That code, in that code, it talks against, or it guards against, the government just going on and taking gifts. The code say the essence, the reason behind the code strongly talking against people just taking gift, or government officials just taking gift, or the government just taking gift, is because gift in many instances have corrupting influences. And that's why I was talking about the president, even though he has endorsed corruption publicly and talking about people should steal and bless other people with the stealing material or whatever they stole, they should be able to bless the community with it. You know, he said all of that. When you take gift, there is a tendency for you to be lenient. The recipient, it can undermine the credibility of the recipient. So our government, the government of Liberia, going to a military junta that doesn't respect the tenets of democracy, knowing fully well that the government has wrongfully turned over a citizen that was escaping the wrath of that junta. And that person has been turned over to the junta. And up to today's date, we don't know the fate of that person. He says something about the corrupting influence of what taking gift. So many people believe that that gift was given to Mr. Boaka as a thank you. There are those who also believe that it was given within the context of quid pro quo, wherein our government will be relaxed with the junta in Guinea, and that elements of the junta will be coming in and out of Liberia. Imagine, you just think about it for the security aspect of it. That military men from Guinea will be coming to Liberia, willy-nilly coming in and going or taking people and carrying them back. It does not just pose danger for those Guineans who are fleeing from Guinea, but even our own political actors. Imagine if you are a critic of the Boaka government and the junta was to come and they give you the junta, or the junta goes to your house and take you over there and carry you. This is how in time past death squad developed. People getting angry for the president. I'm told that Mr. Boaka is directly dealing with the Kisi elements in the Guinean military. The Kisi element, you know, Kisi, we got a Kisi tribe at the border with Guinea,
Yeah, we
and
have the
with
Kisi,
Senegal.
we have the Mano, we have the Mandingo. In fact,
Yes. So
yes,
he basically, because he's belong to the Kisi
and we have the
tribal
Belen,
group or the ethnic group, he is basically interacting with Kisi element in the Guinean military that coming in and getting angry for him or that he's doing this thing for. So soon and very soon, they will be in our community, chasing after people who expressing critical view against the Boaka administration. We need to be careful. I called on the U.S. government yesterday that the U.S. government needs to be proactive about this unsavory relationship that Boaka has developed with the military junta, knowing fully well that the military junta is also in bed with the Russian. This is a dangerous place for Liberia to be. We should not give green light to these people to be coming in our country, going out and doing things anyhow. And so, with this comment, I will pause here and allow my friend to come in. But I think Mr. Boaka is misgoverning our country. I think he is unfit to continue to preserve over our country as leader. And as such, we need to take action as provided for in Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution.
Thank you so much. Peter? We can't hear you. You're muted.
First, I want to say thank you for having me tonight to add my voice to conversation. I wasn't going to come on. It's been a long day, been traveling all day, but I was like, oh, let me just come on. And I see Isaac on. And I'm like, I have to come to just have this conversation about our country and, you know, something that really is really important to us that impacts our lives and the lives of our children. And for me, I want to start by saying this. This fight is not about government jobs, not about Mr. Boycott for me. It is about my children first. It is about our country first. And for those of us who've had time, who've lived in this country or lived away from Liberia, we understand how important it is to how important home is. And I tell people all the time in Liberia, there's nobody more Liberian than Liberian who have been out of Liberia, because then you realize what you've been missing. You realize how you will never, no matter how long you live in America, you will never be an American. You're Liberian, you're African, forever and ever and ever. And that's the only home we have. That's the one place we cannot get deported from. That's our children's inheritance. That's where our naval seat was buried. It doesn't matter how long we lived, how we sound. If we lived in Great Britain for a long time, we will sound British. If we live in Ghana for a long time, we'll sound Ghanaian. You're still Liberian. I want to go back. I think it was Angela who wrote something, and it goes with what Isaac was saying. It goes back to, for me, it goes back to accountability. You cannot have a democratic government without accountability. There is no accountability right now. A republic is supposed to be for the people, by the people. That's all a republic is. And a democracy is the people having a voice in who gets to lead them. When you have a country that the people no longer controls, when you have Young B. Conga Lawrence sharing beggar rights, that's emblematic of where we are as a nation. Our people's basic need is being used as what has been weaponized, right? I give you rice, then I give you oil, and then I give you Ago oil, then I give you red oil. Vote for me. That is emblematic of where we are as a nation. There is no accountability. So why would Joseph Boyka not go to Guinea and be in bed with a junta in Guinea? Well, he would be in bed with them because there's no accountability. And we allow it to happen. Okay. Yeah. Part of the reason I want to be part of the conversation, voicing our displeasure for it does matter, but more needs to be done. We can't. And the other thing I want to say is there are a lot of times I see a lot of my friends that victim blame. Liberians are so desperate right now that they would drop their personal phone number so that they can get $200 or $100, whatever Liberian dollar that was, probably $1, $2. I don't even know what the equivalent is, from a woman. And the reason they're doing that is for the same reason that they stay in line to get fed by what's the Indian guy named? Jetty. Yeah, Jetty, right? That is disgraceful. It is disgraceful, but it is the reality right now. And my question is, what are we going to do about it? We either have a republic or we don't. Right now, our country is not by the people. It's not for the people. A government is supposed to be put in place to address the need of the greater good of everyone, right? That's the purpose of government. Is that what we're doing? If so, if it's true that that's what we're doing, somebody please tell me Mr. Joseph Boyka's economic plan to create private sector jobs. Have you heard him articulate any?
No.
It didn't matter. This is why everyone's jumping up like, oh, I too can be president. I too can be president. Because there is no accountability. There is no one asking questions. When are we going to ask Mr. Boyka, what is your educational worldview? What informs that? How do you plan on doing this? Right? This man's borrowing money in our children's name. This man's doing whatever he wants to do. And all those people, forever and ever, they're doing whatever they want to do. So for me, the conversation has to be, how do we give the government back to the people? That's number one. Number two, democracies cannot and does not function well when people are desperate. There is no desperation in democracy. There are 4 pillars of democracy. I talk about this all the time. Liberia has one of the 4. Any table, any chair with only one leg falls down. We have a desperate population. We don't have a educated populace. Okay, we don't have rule of law. We only have citizen participation. So what I'm saying is, we need to have a hard conversation about what we have right now as a government, because it's damn sure not a republic. It damn sure is not a democracy. Until we can hold government officials, just like Isaac just said, no one is supposed to be above the Constitution. No one. We shouldn't even need a code of conduct. If we are a country functioning with the rule of law, a code of conduct will not be necessary, because you just have to follow the law. Everyone in the country follows the law, written by really, really smart people. It's a carbon copy of the American Constitution. My question is, what do we do about it? I mean, we can have the conversation about the particulars that happen in the country, but let's be honest with ourselves. We don't have a real government. We have a failed state, and it's not a democracy, and damn sure it's not a republic.
I could pick up upon some of the things he said. I don't know what you think, our dear sister, since you're moderating. But there are things he said that I think pointed that needs to be highlighted for the consideration of our people. You talk about the Nobly thing, right? The Nobly thing also congeal. It goes in line with what Mr. Boaka shamelessly articulated in Lo-Fi, which I think is the mode or the moral operandi of this present government. That's their mode of conduct now. Normally, Senate pro tempore, before she became Senate pro tempore, she was doing a menial job at LPRC. She became pro tempore. Suddenly, she's a rich woman, right? So she stole from poor people, the Boaka says, steal from people, and then bless the community. That is the mode of their operation. I saw why so. I mean, you're a very serious guy, seasoned, you're an educated guy. I saw what her educational credential? Nothing. You have nothing to show, brother. So our country is at a low place. You see, you talk about that we don't need for the code of conduct. The code of conduct basically was just a complement to the Constitution. It's a kind of smaller version for people to understand, a simplified version of what is expected of us when we go to the public offices, right? But look at how Boaka doing violent to it. You talk about, whether or not, Mr. Boaka would develop, a private sector plan to create jobs. Brother, this man is not interested in that. Instead of basically developing a coherent plan to deal with the menace of poverty, and I even extended to corruption, Boaka himself is not complicit in the act of corruption when he pays bribe money to corrupt lawmakers.
Yep.
To illegally remove the speaker.
Speaker,
anything from this, brother?
Bribe money for the justices to ignore. We are still waiting
Brother,
for the bill of information.
You think we can get money from it, brother? I think the first thing Mr. Boaka needed to have done, instead of waging political war, he should have been waging war against poverty. Thousands of Liberian people goes to bed hungry. And so this is a metaphor people use. They go to bed hungry. But in Liberia, they don't even have bed to go to. They don't have bed to go to.
325 million of the population.
Our people don't even have bed to go to. So thousands of people sleep on empty stomach. Hospitals are without medicine. No medicine in the hospital. School buildings are caving in, but the president can find $15,000 to give to each lawmaker to illegally remove their speaker. This is what Liberia is. So come, we are on the same page. All we need to do, and I told my sister before, is to continue the conversation, but behind the conversation, we need to mobilize on the home front. Because it will take a local mobilization to awaken the consciousness of our people so they can do justice to the government by removing the government. The government is not fit for purpose. It's not fit for purpose. Look, I think, even in addition to what we said earlier, I think some of the things that are responsible for Mr. Boaka making the slippery statement he made, it can be attributed to cognitive frailty. I mean, everywhere in the world, when people reach that age that Mr. Boaka has reached, I lived in England for 5 years. The man is in his senior moment. Certain ages like that, people will tell you, say, don't drive again. You're slow in thinking. Maybe some of the things he's been thinking about, which he could not put outside, because he's now old, he doesn't care. He's just putting it outside now. He condoning corruption, saying when people steal, they should bless the community. How can you put stealing and blessing in one sentence? It's an irony of ironies, right? But that's what he's articulating, brother. This is where Liberia is. So Liberia is at a sad place. And I don't see how we're going to get out of here if our people don't stand up if we don't continue to support her program and other programs that are carrying good messages to our people to do right. How can Nyobli sit over there and tell people that the first few people that will call me? So what she's doing now, she's trying to create a court.
Of
That's
course,
autism. The
mhm.
first few people that come here, I'll give you grave, I'll give you gift. Then those people will now be worshiping at her altar. This is devilish.
In fact,
This is devilish.
uh, Mr. Jackson, let me come in a little bit. I think Peter may want to add up today. We have a young man who is Peter is a mentor to. I mean, most of you don't know Peter is a coach. Peter make millionaires. Peter make athletes that go to college and go into professional football. A lot of you don't know that because when you come on Facebook, everybody you see your thing they're looking for jobs because that's all you know in Liberia. That's what all your mindset is, right? So Peter has sent out kids who have gone and played in the NFA, have gone to college, the Ivy League, thought that he's an educator, right? And unless he open his own playing field in Liberia government cannot afford to pay him unless he wants to volunteer his time per se. So let's just cut it up. We have a young man who is like a son to me, but Peter is a mentor to this young man. We have known him for almost 10 years now, Peter. Normally there's some people that she's sponsoring in Rwanda, very violent. Nobody speak of her there, even in the people country. They will threaten you and say they will kill you. They almost killed one of these children that Peter mentored. All right. For me, I told him they should let him. He was in jail for some time. I told the young man, I said, let him stay in jail. It will serve as a deterrent for the rest of them. But you know, we are conditioned to be empathetic. All right. In the end, after sitting down, he keeps saying, Mommy, you know, all my friends are begging me, people. So when this young man was gashed and beaten, almost killed, and he reached out to Nyomli, she never said a word. Until Peter and myself and a few people came on this Facebook, posted a call her out, then she started reaching out. The first thing she told this young man when the young man reached out to her, she said the young man should go to the court and lie on himself and waive the case. That's the only way she was going to pay for his hospital fee. We told the young man, we said, forget it, we're going to take care of that. Okay. I particularly as a parent, you hurt my child, you hurt me. Okay? And I was willing to go to all of the length, but we also have to respect his decision as to how he wanted to end it. If that was me in that place, that young man in Rwanda, they don't play that. He would have stayed in jail until he served his time in 5 years, 10 years, and got deported to Liberia. Then he was going to tell the story. Okay. So she's not a good person. All right. She's not. And I'm just saying. So you're talking about creating a court. The people that she's helping with our money, with the nation money, all right, the penny that she's giving to them, they will die. They will kill other people to defend her. And that's what she's building. She's building her own following, her own religious group, her own court. But I will stop here and I'm going to bring Peter on so we can, go on. Yeah, Peter. So I'm not sure, Peter.
Maybe I should put this. Maybe I should put this order for the Nyomli team before Peter comes because I don't want us to circle back to that. Nyomli is dishonest and disingenuous. She is not a philanthropist as she wants to depict herself. I know of a brother that we grew up together in Basel. He's a senior brother of mine. Brilliant guy. He was the first guy who came at the top of his class in the wire exam. Her name is Felix Zike. Felix Zike works in Nyomli's office. He been sick by the waist, and Nyomli has not attended to that fellow.
What?
True. Felix Zike, in fact, he benefited from the first scholarship Doe gave when he said anybody who does the wire exam in the country will come to Monrovia and go to University of Liberia free of charge.
Yes.
Felix was one person who benefited that and came, I think, 89 to the capital to benefit that Doe scholarship. But I'm saying this to show that all she's doing is a charade. If she was a kind-hearted person, she would help Felix Zike. Felix Zike is in that place. He has a big sickness where he weighs. He can't even walk. He's walking with stick. He's been making every effort to reach out to Nyomli because Felix will not be a militant or part of the court. she has not been able to identify with Felix. If she want to be seen a good person, let she have Felix to go to the hospital. Be Felix Zike. I'm saying this because I grew up in Bassa. I know what I'm talking about. And let nobody come and disprove it, and let she explain how much she's done to help Felix Zike out. Zero. This woman is as heartless as Mr. Boaka. So my brother can come in to provide his take.
Yes.
So here's my question. I'll go back to Youngly and the story that you told, y'all. 100%. I still remember the day that we got the pictures and the kid bleeding and being cut because he was in a fight because someone said something about Youngly. So this other young man was willing to kill someone else because he felt like somebody disparaged the name of Youngly. At a university that costs nothing to go to. I think it's cost like $2,000 to go to or whatever, right? So he felt so beholden to this woman, he was willing to take a life, and I believe he felt like he could take a life. It goes back to accountability. I believe he felt like nothing will happen if I do this.
Yeah,
I'll be protected. She's in government. She's high ranking, and she'll protect me. That is dangerous. Takes me to the next thing, and what I really want to stick on. The question is, tell me the last bill that Youngly Conga Lawrence sponsored that elevated Liberian people. Tell me the name of the bill. So why do you expect anything different? Let's go to Joseph Boycott. And I just saw Joseph Conti wrote something like, he won't be surprised if part of Liberia is annexed by Guinea. I won't be surprised at anything. Let's be honest. Is there anybody listening who believes that Joseph Boycott will stand up for Liberian people at his own detriment if it didn't benefit him?
Nope.
Will he sacrifice anything? Does anyone believe that? He's been in government since 1973. Before we were born.
I was still in diapers. In diapers.
Think about that. Tell me the significant contribution this man has left or given to Liberia. What's his legacy? Again, for me, it's not about Joseph Boycott. It is about the people who are supporting this man. It is about the lies. It is about the con game, the 419, the pretending. This is what I won't let go. This is not about you, Joseph Boycott. It's not about your supporters. It is about our children, and it's about our country, and it's about the future. You have a person who is ill-equipped to run a country. If you believe that he is equipped or he's good enough to be president, please tell me. Again, tell me his economic plan. Tell me how he plans on paying back the loans that Liberia owes. Tell me how he plans on developing the country infrastructurally. And where's the money coming from? Not some pipe dream about I will build roads and cars won't get stuck in 100 days and people listen to that garbage. This is an old man with no integrity. Last time we were on here, I recounted how people with integrity, statesmen, older statesmen that people respected, what they did was they would stand up and do something that helped the nation. What's the last help Joseph Boycott gave to the nation? Do you not believe, is there anyone who doesn't believe that if given money, Joseph Boycott would take that money and sell Liberia out? Is there anyone who doesn't believe that? Is there anyone that believes this man has integrity? Give me an example of a time that Joseph Boycott was to benefit from something and he turned it down because it would hurt the Liberian people. It will hurt our children. Joseph Boycott was with every government. He was with Doe. He was with all the interim government. He was with Taylor. He was with everybody. He was with Ellen. Anyone that came is a chameleon. He doesn't have any integrity.
Ruth Perry, Julie Bryan. Yeah.
All of them. He was with everyone. And after all these years, he has no legacy. Again, this conversation is not about Joseph Boycott. It's about the type of people that we are choosing to lead us.
To lead us, yes.
What is Joseph Boycott's vision? When is he? Here's how you know this man's a con man. When are you going to sit down and have an objective, real journalist question you? I remember when he went to Ghana, when he was it was Ghana during the campaign, and they asked him, "You've been around all this time. What are you going to do different?" This man going to have arrest. RREST.
That when he went to Nigeria, he was on Rise TV, Nigeria.
Yes, it was Nigeria.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they were asking some poignant questions.
Yeah.
He couldn't answer any of it.
Yeah.
Our people. So let me defend the Liberian people for a little bit. And a lot of my friends, we had a lot of conversations behind the scenes, and they blame the Liberian people. Right? And they blame the Liberian people and say they need to stand up. Guys, here's how I respond to that. Vietnam, Philippines, Cuba, those countries, the United States of America. Let me start with the United States of America. The person who was the pen behind the American Revolution, when America broke away from Britain and had a bloody war, his name was Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine was a British citizen. He was not American. He was brand new to America. If you look at Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, he was an expat. He lived in France for a long time. Okay, if you look at the revolution in Cuba, the Cuban Revolution, those people lived in Spain. They were what was called the Creoles. Here's the point I'm making. It is easy to.
Fidel Castro left the country before he came back. He was an expat to some degree. He was somebody.
Yes, he was an expat. Fidel Castro.
Yes.
Here's what I'm saying, and this is a point I raised to my friends. Just having the perspective that I have on history a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is us. It is us that is dependent on. The people who basic needs haven't been met, they don't start revolutions.
No, they don't.
They support. And when I say revolution, I'm not talking about taking guns and shooting nobody. I'm saying we need an electoral revolution. We need to literally change the conversation. We need to shame and embarrass those conversation terrorists when you ask Joseph Boycott, whomever else who's trying to lead, explain your economic worldview, what informs it, and where has it worked before? Why do you believe it's going to work in Liberia? We need to press the journalists. We need to press the influencers. It is us. It is you, Yacendi. Isaac, it's you. It's me. We have to start the drumbeat. No place. I'm talking about if you go even to the Russian Revolution.
Actually, have you calling me a lot on that, though?
Okay. No place that I know of, unless someone wants to correct me, that the revolution was, maybe the Haitian Revolution. Even that, Toussaint Louverture, he was a red man. That means he could read. That's how he knew what was going on in France. He was part of the privileged class. He was an elite. Stop waiting. Yes, the Liberian people, we need to keep doing what we're doing, but we got to start this. We can't wait and say, well, the Liberian people deserve it. It's up to them. It's their fault. We have to do that because we know for a fact the people that we have right now, they're not it. They're not it. We have a legislature that's making way more money than they should. There's no accountability. They couldn't tell you the last bill that they've written to help the Liberian people. They hold positions for 6 and 9 years, and they leave the position after allowing foreigners to completely run our economy. When every money is remitted back home, it bounces out the country quickly. We have this huge capital flight problem. When last have you heard Joseph Boyka talk about the capital flight problem? When has he talked about the extraction industry and how much they're taking out of our country? When have you heard him talk about that? When has he talked about economically empowering our business people so they can compete with foreigners? We don't have nationalists. We need a nationalist to be a leader. We must do that. And we got to create that. So Isaac, as you speak and say we need to unite and we need to do this, we must do that. Or we're wasting time talking nonsense. Those people who've been back home, that good old boy club, it is not changing. We either care or we don't care. If we care enough, we will come together. We will mobilize ourselves and we will do something about it. Right now, we're not ready. Too many egos, too many people who are not humble, don't know their place, don't know how to play a role on a team. We don't understand teamwork, and we don't care about each other enough, and we just want to talk. Too many self-interested people, which is okay. We need to come to the table and have those hard conversations and do something about it. The people we have right now, they are not it, and we all know that.
No, but I think you struck a bigger chord, and I share a similar view with you. When you say other people try to unfairly blame the people, I think we should not blame the corn. We should blame the corn man. Because Boyka and others are corn men who con our people into believing the wrong thing. You know, when the campaign was ongoing, I supported Brother Cummings. I was saying, Brother Boyka didn't have the stamina and he didn't even have the credential, the history to lead the country. They could not even produce his medical record. They hid it from the people. They say he was in excellent health. He could barely end his own speech inaugural address because of the health problem. So, brother,
I was like,
you are right.
Can I jump in real quick? I want to buttress that point. Did you see a couple of days ago when he went to examine those 2 tractor trailers that got donated? Did you see how close his the whatever that guy, whatever his role is, had to stand to him? The man cannot even stand. Everything about this man is a fraud, and we all see it. But go ahead.
Yeah, so he is not in excellent health, you know. One of the things you talk about, which I think is important for us to highlight, is the bunch of self-seekers that sit over there and they say they represent Liberia. You talk about how Nyombli have been there, no bill. She been over there for almost close to 9 years plus. Not one bill is to her credit. She made no law. That's why I was appalled when our people place a whole lot of importance on the building going in fleeing as opposed to playing importance on the brutalization of our people.
Yep.
You know, I said in one of my conversations with one of my friends, I said, look, Liberians are acting like King Nebuchadnezzar, right? The guy who asked the 3 Hebrew boys to worship the corrupt edifice. We can't be worshiping corrupt edifices that have done nothing good for our country. How much law have those people made to benefit our society? They go over there and steal from poor people.
Yeah.
That building is a symbol of corruption. Even Jesus Christ himself, when he went to the courtyard and saw that a sacred place was being desecrated by people changing money and lying and stealing from poor people, the Bible says Jesus turned the table over. Jesus was angry. We don't say this to justify that the building went in fleeing, but all that I'm saying is that our anger should be properly directed. Our democracy is undermined when our people go to exercise their rights and they are violently brutalized. You know, you were talking about Boyka people saying, oh, people coming here and talking because they want job. Let's flip the reverse is true. It is the Boyka people that have been very desperate for job. When we say true, who is on record for violating the Constitution because they wanted to give Patrick Honor a tenure job?
Yeah.
Not as a Jackson. You know, this man is promoting clientelism. You know what clientelism is? It's a political corruption. You give jobs to people because they supported you, even though they don't have the credential.
They don't
That's
have
why
the
you see the
credential, yeah.
government is an avalanche. It's a cavalcade of incompetent people. All across the government, incompetent people. So Bouaka violated the constitution to reward Patrick Hanna with a job. Patrick Hanna goes there, see what he's doing. See what he's doing. So, my brother, I think we need to work together. We need to work together. We need to keep most of these conversations and get our people involved on the issue of the revolution you talk about. I think it's complementary. Because even if we go back to 2010, and when I say complementary, I think the people on the home front, they can take some action. Democracy is about ordinary guys taking power. In Tunisia, it took just a fruit seller, the courage of a fruit seller in Tunisia to provoke a revolution across the Arab world in 2010. In 2010. So I think the people on the home front, they too have a responsibility to stand up to the wrong that's been done to them. We have to work together. We in the diaspora, raise our resources, go on the ground, get on the ground. I mean, we have to run a guerrilla campaign. When I say guerrilla campaign, like you're saying, let's not get it twisted, it's not gone. It's about a robust, unorthodox campaign that will bring to the fore of our people the misgovernance of Mr. Bouaka and a bunch of entities that not preside in our country. These people can't do anything. They will not help the country. Bouaka have placed in government the least among us. The least among us. That's why those are the people who running our country today. The Jalon that we talk about. What is his academic credential? Zero. This guy is a mere high school dropout who back then of some political advocacy, I mean, being an indecent opportunity, lied to our people. He's a senator now. And since he became senator, he and Patrick Hanna are competing for the most ridiculous politician of the year. What have they said amidst all that happened in our country in recent times? What is their position? President going to Guinea and taking yellow mission, taking pickup truck. President bringing in yellow mission contract to the constitution that says, for the 3 say what? They got to be legislated enactment before you negotiate on our behalf.
Right.
You can't uproot 10 new holders without respecting the law. All of these terrible things that are happening, where are they? Do you see the voice? Do you hear the voices? No. So for them, if people come here and say, Mr. Jackson talking because he won't get a job better. I know Bouaka is hateful. I'm not wanting any job from him. If I want any job, I want the Liberian people to be in power. I'm not here talking because I want a job from Liberia. This is not about me. This is about our country drifting into elected dictatorship. That's why I stood with Brother Kofa. I was on some of the radio stations and saying, I offer a critique against Kofa. I said, but Kofa is supposed to hold the executive accountable. How is he being so soft on Bouaka?
Yeah,
but when I saw Bouaka, even with Mr. Kofa bending over backward to provide political, justification or response for Mr. Bouaka fruitless travel, Mr. Bouaka still had to wield the net against Kofa. Does it not show to you that Mr. Bouaka is heartless? That no matter what you do, if he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you. He's hateful. So I'm not here to make an argument because I want a job from Mr. Bouaka. Even if I didn't make an argument, it would be the same argument. Say, Mr. Jackson, who can talk fiery? He's not talking today because Mr. Bouaka, he expecting something for Bouaka. If I tell you, I want a job, I don't need anything from Mr. Bouaka. What I need from Mr. Bouaka, like we are all saying, come up with a coherent plan. Make the private sector viable. That the poor people in our country today who begging every day, they will go to job. Martin Luther King Jr., a respected civil rights icon, he said, any edifice that produces beggars should be what? Restructure. The Liberian government is producing beggars. Today, Christmas, we're having Christmas, celebrating Christmas, right? The people in Liberia got no Christmas to celebrate. Because Bouaka and his people are stealing everything from poor people. Everything. You're not empowering poor people. So, let you know the people who have been talking political garbage and the other man talking because he wants jobs. Zero. We're talking because we want our country to be in the right direction. Today, Liberia is a laughing stock. Because we got an old man who observes no moral rules. He has no moral compunction. He will drag himself low, take pickup truck from Guinea, sucking the bloody boots of the military junta to take pickup truck. He will bring in yellow machine and claim that a friend gave. When the Baka have a friend who gave him all the yellow machine when he was living on loan? This man has been deceiving our people. So I will stop here, my brother. You can come in, my sister can come in. We got to keep the conversation going. I think we need, look, one of the things Dr. King said when his friend James Reed died, he said Reed died as a result of the inaction of some of our people in our community who have money, will stand on the side and don't support this cause. The inaction, the indifference of people who have money, but they will not support a revolutionary action. They will not support a cause. I think those people, their indifference, indifference to evil is worse than what? It's more insidious than evil itself, right? So the indifference of people with money that will support the cause is what causing this problem. If people who have resources were committing their resources to this cause, and we go to Liberia and build cells and create awareness that Nyomli Kanga and other people are stealing from you. That's why you are poor, and the little they gave you, don't celebrate it. Stand up to them. So they make good laws that benefit you, the people will listen.
I'm gonna jump in right there. The people
Go
will listen.
ahead, Peter.
The people will listen. I believe it. I've been there. I've spoken to them as recently as this year in July. They will listen. With my action and everything, they will listen. They know when you're being genuine.
Yes.
Our people are not stupid. They're just desperate.
Yes.
They will listen. Liberia needs radicals right now. Listen. Name one revolution. Remember now, when I'm speaking revolution, I don't want anyone to misquote me. I'm not talking about bringing guns.
They will say you're sitting in America and planning to
That's
come.
okay. They can say whatever.
It's good to
They
clarify.
can say whatever. I'm going to speak for myself, though. I'm not talking about bringing guns and killing people. I don't think that's going to fix it. We need a electoral revolution. We need the thinking of our people to be sparked. Name one revolution that you know about in any detail that radicals did not lead. The only revolution that comes to mind as I think about it is the Brazilian Revolution, but that was not even a real revolution. The guy literally bequeathed the throne to his kid and left and went back to Portugal. Every other revolution, from the Russian Revolution, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, radicals change things. We need to support our radicals. That's where it starts at.
That's it.
Because if you sit there and you think you're going to unseat these people who have done this forever, and you're going to be some professorial person, and you're going to sit there and reason with me, it is not. Yeah. You're lying to yourself. Then you're wasting your time. Just look, say something about Joseph Boycott. They're out here jumping at you. Now you're jumping talking about Lauren, then you're talking about Darius Dillon too. What are you talking about? Tell me the bill that Darius Dillon wrote. Now, there's another thing I'm gonna say. When it comes to education, even though I'm an educator myself, I don't even like using the word education. Exposure and information. Darius Dillon does not have enough exposure and information to lead a bankrupt country. He doesn't have enough information to have the introspection that it takes to creatively solve problems. Here are the problems that we have. Corruption. You know what other nation had a major problem with corruption? The United States.
Yeah.
The quid pro quo we talk about, it was called political machines here.
Political machines.
The spoil
system. Yes. Mm-hmm.
They were doing that. Here's how grave theirs was. Our president got assassinated over it.
Yeah.
Garfield got killed.
Yeah.
Because he didn't give the job to someone. This is when America said we have to fix the spoils system.
We gotta fix it.
We have to come up with to fix the system, because not only do you have unqualified people serving, but you have people with no integrity. Guys, when you have people with no integrity serving in roles that requires integrity, you're bound for failure. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, so I'm saying we have people who don't have enough information, enough exposure to fix the problems we have. There is no problem that Liberia have that other countries haven't faced and solved. None. We are over here spinning our wheels. We are electing a con man. Like Isaac said, a con man. Like Joseph Boyka as a president, because he said he had experience. Why are the radicals not out here beating the drum saying, show us one thing he's done that proves his experience? Show us one thing. I want to see one decision he has made, or one action he came up with, or one thought that he came up with that any Zogo could not come up with. Name one. There is none. He's empty. And here's the thing when I talk about radicals. When you say that, you're going to get attacked. Our radicals don't care. They will fight that battle. This is why those people at home, you need to support your radicals. Even if you don't do the dirty work, the people who are doing the dirty work, you better stand behind them. It breaks my heart when Yacendi, who's been fighting year after year after year, she's on here and there is not 500 people listening. It doesn't matter what she's talking about. She's one of our soldiers. Support her. But if she's out here a man business, a woman business, you guys will be out here talking. But when it comes to the lives of your children, you don't care. I'm talking about the people who are in the CPP who want better for Liberia. Support your radicals.
That's it.
That's how you fix it. You can do the fighting, that's fine. Give them food. That's what happened during slavery. Pass food to the slaves who were fighting. That's what happens. Give them low support if you don't want to do it yourself. Okay? You can't have Isaac on here speaking and people attack him and you sit on your hands and let them attack him without saying anything.
Yeah.
You're a coward. You don't want to change things. Guys, nothing's going to change unless our radicals do it.
No, they want it on silver platter. They want you
it's not happening.
dirty your name, and then they will show up in the end, and then we. And then because they don't know the what is worth to get there, they will become just like the very people that they move because they don't understand the sweat, the sleep that you lost on this journey. So if even like you said, if the slave that were in the front, there were supporters, those women who were sneaking food to them to make sure they're strong, those who were going in there and making sure that they showed them what path not to take, where they were hiding. They knew where to put on the line for that. So they knew what the fought for and how it was hard won. But you have these people who want to go to bed, okay? They don't want to get their hand dirty. They want to go out and mingle with everybody so nobody can look at them backlit. Then they look at it and say, oh, Peter, it's rude. Yacendi is rude. Or Yacendi is emotional.
Rude.
Yes,
I'm very rude. I'm going to continue to be rude.
Listen, call me anything when you call me. My fight is about the future, not about me. You know, like I tell people, I'm almost 60 years old. If the lifespan of Liberia or Liberians is 60, and I'm almost 60 years old, consider me a dead woman, per se.
If you end Liberia, you'll be dead.
Exactly. Consider me a dead woman. So my fight is not them. Register this. My fight is not about me because I'm a dead woman, right? My fight is about the next generation. So support me there.
Yes. So Yacendi, let me land on this, right? I wanted to land on Joseph Boyka. Here's a man who had everyone that knows him. He had an enemies list. He had an enemies list.
He does.
Whose grandfather is that? Who respects that? How vindictive are you? How primitive are you? Leadership is service, is humility. For a man who comes to power to get even, For any man, what type of man has an enemies list? I'll pay my debt list. That's an unsophisticated, primitive man who should come nowhere near making decisions for other people's family. That alone, besides the fact that he's completely empty intellectually, disqualifies him from leadership. The president of the country is like the dad. He's the father of the country. Even when your kids get you mad, you still forgive them. I'm an educator. You know what we do when and you get taught when you're learning, when you're going through childhood education. Those kids are you learn childhood psychology. That's one of the few of the courses you have to take. Child psychology. And what do you learn? You learn that because they're young people, they're teenagers. They're gonna come in some days in a really nasty mood.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they might cuss you out. They might cuss at you. They might threaten you, but they'll come back. You know what you learn after being a teacher for a long time? They didn't mean any of it. And guess what? If you're a real teacher, if you're a real educator, you don't even think about it. You forgive them and you hug them as if it never happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
This man has an enemies list. The enemies list. You talk to an enemies list. You talk to anyone who's working with the public with kids, they will tell you. And guess what? Yeah. For some of us, you don't even have to think about it. It just goes away because it dissipates. They do love you. And they will love you forever. And they were just having a bad day. And they're a child. Not the person who leads the lives of others cannot have an enemies list. They cannot pay the debt, Liberian people. They cannot pay the debt, their debt. If you can't do the job, we need radicals, guys. We need radicals because they're going to fight back. They're going to call you every name in the book. You're homosexual. You are clinging poo-poo. You're nothing. Someone called me today. You're a gym teacher. Like that's a bad. I wish I was a gym teacher, but that's a dope job. But you are nothing. They'll come at your family. The people who can combat that and keep going, those are radicals. You either support them or you're complicit in this fight. Support your damn radicals, and we will get this thing done.
No, but you make a valid point, and this is one of the challenges that we're facing, right? I normally would not come on these radio stations to articulate for a longer time because I'm burdened by the work that I do. My colleague was just knocking the door that I need to attend to something. If we are not supporting one another, it makes it difficult for us to basically carry out this fight in a decisive way as we all want to do. So it's important for us to support one another. The other thing you said that I think is critically important is that Mr. Bouaka is a bearer of deep-seated grudges. I've written about that. He lazy guy with grievances against even Madam Selly. Today, he's unforgiving of other people to the extent that the cabinet is comprising entirely of poodles from the Unity Party. How can you build any serious democracy?
Bunch of chihuahua.
Yeah. I mean, I use the poodle because it's obedient, right? They don't criticize the president. They don't ask difficult questions. Poodles. How can you build any society like Liberia if you don't have different view, divergence of view on the cabinet to ask critical questions, to say it will not work this way? But this is why you see, this is the product of poodles. We will not tell the president, Mr. President, you're going wrong. You're carrying the country in the wrong direction. No democratic accountability. Liberia acceded, when I was with the Selly administration, Deputy Minister for Press and Public Affairs, Liberia acceded to the Open Government Partnership, which was a bigger commitment to the global community that Liberia will be transparent in its deal, will promote transparency and accountability. Today, what do you see? Our budget is not democratic, it's not transparent. No deliberation of our budget. And Bouaka and his people are comfortable.
All right, we have about 9 minutes.
Okay, so you know,
Mr. Jackson,
yeah.
You just came out. We have about 9 minutes, and we can. Okay. We've been here almost 2 hours. The conversation is so good. And
Yeah,
so
it's
when he
rich.
is, he's there, but he, how you call it?
It's a rich disco.
So,
I'm glad to be with
so
my colleague.
Peter, today, Mr. Boaka told the whole of Liberia all day before yesterday that who are stealing, it's okay in so many words to steal, so long you use the money in Liberia. Okay. That's his leadership. If we believe that government's supposed to direct society and set society, the tune, the norms of society, okay, and this is the head of the government. But I wanted to say something. There's a young man on here who is one of my children that I've known for years. I'm making some really sarcastic remarks. And then my brother, listen, let me say to all of you, when we come here, because I know Peter for a long time, I've known Attorney Jackson now for some time now, but I know Peter together. And Peter will tell you, when we started this platform, almost 9 years ago, Peter, we reached out to some children, young people, youth in Liberia, where especially when we had just come out, but just before the election, and people were saying Liberia not supposed to protest, Liberia not supposed to speak. You don't question your leaders, because those are cultural effect. That's the religion, the two things that hold in Liberian mind. Okay, religion and culture impact. All right. So civic education is not really a part of that in to understand governance. Most of our people don't understand governance. So what we did was almost every weekend, okay, Facebook was not live then the way it is. We would send some young men out. Emmanuel Macedo was leading that charge. We had subgroup. Even the Sunning board that you'll see today, we were buy minutes. We would rent speakers, laptop, and they will go from community to community to teach the Constitution while we come live, and they will join us. We did that, and that's how come even the June 7 protest caught fire. We paid our own money, took our own time from community to community to let people know, even interpret it, okay, to their people, that this is what the Constitution said. This, the power lies in your hand. The money they're spending is your money. We did that for years. This platform, how majority of the people where you see today from the diaspora that in the UP-led government, they used to park out here. Yeah, Peter, okay? George Lobo were here. George Wallace were here. Peter, right? Howard was here. Duncan T was here. Emre were here. Duke were here. Josiah Joka were here. Anthony Sony and Anthony Sia was here. I can't name everybody, but they were all on this platform. I'm just telling you. Today, the 30 of us, maybe by the time we're done, 1,000 or 2,000 would have watched. But before, we used to get our 10,000, 11,000. When UP people needed us, because they didn't have platform, we had the platform. So Peter is right here will tell you. So as Peter said, we stood up before. We can stand up again, and we can stand up and use a different approach. We can be more radical, because the people that we're dealing with now, they are radical. All right. And if you think your corporate job, some of us working corporate before, that change job, I get bored easily. All right. And to the people who think we're here being emotional, no, we're not. We're being very logical. We're being passionate. All right. I always told people in America, I've never been to jail, never been in trouble. And I always told anybody who know me, and people were telling the community, you don't play with Yasindi children. I told people the only time in this country, and I will go to jail with ease. In fact, I will volunteer myself to go to jail, will be my children. I fight for the future of my children. And when it comes to my children, I can be reasonable and I can be very unreasonable. All right. Especially when I feel that you're taking away their future. So this has nothing to do with emotion. It has to do with the future, where the future goes. It has to do with passion. How do I want to leave my country? You drove me out of my country because of your greed. All right. We turn against each other. You open women's stomach out of cruelty. When people tell me Liberians are peace-loving people, I tell you, you're a freaking liar. That is not a true statement. We kill our neighbors. We rape little girls. We are still raping them today. We just watched a Liberian guy went to an open place and murdered a girl because she didn't want to be with him anymore. Guys, that man would have met me when I was young. Maybe he would have killed me because I was cold as ice. I would kick it and keep going. That's me. And if you're you to teach people, because he understands that nothing will happen to him. He might go to jail. They will free him in the middle of the night and say he disappeared. There is no accountability. So no, this is not about emotion. This is about logic. This is about passion. This is about leadership. This is about patriotism. This is about being a parent and living a better world for your children and your children's children. You, as a good parent, you want to make sure you're leaving your kids in a good place. Peter, I'm going to start there. I think that would be that for me.
Okay, so let me quickly go. A couple of things, right? I remember when Joseph Boycott came back from some wasted trip he had in the U.S. and came to Rhode Island and met with some neighborhood people. He went back to Liberia, and this was very telling to me. He said, his handler said, "You have one question." One question. After this man has spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of our dollars, one question. No accountability. That's what that tells you when he feels like he can do whatever he wants. Okay. He just spoke and said it's okay to be corrupt, but just spend the money in the country. Some Bush brain idea that he came up with, and that's the wisdom he has. And guess what? The Bush brain idea is what we expected from this man. Now he has his propagandists over here saying, "Oh, we understand what the man was saying. You are part of the problem, and you need to be dealt with too." I'm talking about their most radicals. Their most radicals need to fix our radicals. All of them. The next thing, the last thing I want to talk about, there is no country without the rule of law. No country. When you skirt the Constitution, you remove people in integrity institutions, Nelly, you do whatever you want. Okay, you remove a speaker from the. First of all, there should be separation of powers, but you interfere in the legislative process.
Yeah.
The speaker. There is no rule of law. We don't have a country, people. Stop lying to yourselves. We don't have a country. When you guys are ready to fix it, we will sit down, talk about how we fix it, and we have to employ what we have to employ to fix it. Until then, our country is gone. We don't have a future for our children. We don't have a home to go back to.
In conclusion, let me just say that everything that we are witnessing today has been associated with Bouakai in time past. So they are just coming to light for many people to see. Mr. Bouakai dismissed twice for corruption. The PRC dismissal was clear it was about corruption. Mismanaging the resources of the Ministry of Agriculture, dismissed. That Mr. Bouakai was associated with a junta before, yes, he did with the dual administration, the PRC government, the junta. So he's doing what he's familiar with. The reason why we are highlighting it tonight, because it is not injurious to our society. It is impeding the progress of Liberia. And so all of us who are listening, who are actors, the onus is upon us to stand together to remove Mr. Bouakai democratically. Mr. Bouakai is unfit. He's not fit for purpose to continue to preside over our country. He is incapable of fighting corruption, which is cancerous, which have taken Liberia back by virtue of what he said in Lofa County. You can't get anything out of this old man. He doesn't have a future to protect. That's why he's dragging Liberia in handcuffs to hell. Let's stand against this. And I think by standing up together, we will rid Liberia of Bouakai and his cavalcade of incompetence that say they run a government. I thank you for having me tonight. Whenever I'm available, I will join you, my dear sister. I'll join my dear professional colleague who is a professor at Brown University. Brown is an Ivy League school. I respect your knowledge. I'm a respecter of knowledge. I'm not a dealer. I'm not a brother Dylan and who they didn't go to those serious school, the boy it's not that boy is a con to the extent that he will lie about his high school credential and try to be comical or get about it and say, oh, I tell you, and everybody just follow behind him. I tell the man he's a dishonest man. I told person, let's do to this guy what they did to George Santos from New York, right? The guy who lied about his credentials.
Yes.
But the Farah goes or lie, and they had to boot him out of the place there. The American Congress booted him out. We got to do likewise to Brother Dylan.
Why you got your whole team to come and fight and be all over
social? These people fighting, they are distracted for nothing. Don't waste your time with them. Look, Patrick Hunter, everybody was talking about, Patrick Hunter fighting for a Punch Radio. When he got the LTA job, what did he do? He started touring with the idea of regulating or censoring Facebook communication.
Yeah.
The people who applauding Yeke Koluba. Yeah, they were applauding Yeke Koluba to criticize Wheeler, right? When Yeke Koluba turned against Joe Bwaka, they wanted to censor Facebook. They said, let's regulate what happened on Facebook. So these people, like I say, he and Dylan are competing for who will be the most ridiculous public official. So, but I thank you for having me tonight. Let's continue to work together. Let's continue with the conversation. I know they are, you call them radical. I don't think they are radical. I think they are corrupt cowards. Because they are corrupt cowards, that's why they've been beating people in the street who try to exercise their right.
Right. Thank you so much, Trini, for being here tonight, and Peter for making the time. It's Christmas Eve. I have a tradition going to my mom's house. The girls are ready. We're about to go. It's good that we have this conversation, but I'm going to take this. I think Yama, we echoed that where you said radicals, and a lot of people are agreeing with you, Peter. That's what we need. We need to change Liberia. We can't put our hand in our pocket. We can't do the same things that we've done. We can be. There's no civility when your life is on the line. You don't need a referee to tell you when the life of, especially as a parent. It takes me back to the movie Braveheart, when the character who played the role of Willis came up, William Willis, I think that's his name. He came up and said, and people thought he was supposed to be this giant, and he came and said, if you want to leave, a lot of people wanted to leave, and say, who's going to follow you? If we fight, we're going to die. He said, you might die today, and you might die with honor, or you might go and live for another day or maybe 1 year. But what will happen to your children? What will happen to the future? So I don't up now every day. I don't mind speaking up now. Let me tell you something before you go. I know people are here talking about, I don't know what I'm talking about. My brother was battling cancer, and my brother was like a son to Bwaka. All right. Also an advisor to both Bwaka and the president. And, my brother was battling stage 4 cancer. At the same time, he was trying the government, because he didn't go to Liberia to work for government. He's a professional, consummate professional. He was the first Liberian be director of research at the University of Minnesota and then the Eastern School District in Minnesota. So ArcelorMittal hired him to go to Liberia. When he got to Liberia, because he had been very consistently, that's how she were able to break people when they decided that, in fact, first the UN hired him. He went to Liberia. He wrote the next social policy of Liberia. And we were very close. So every time he made a decision, he would ask me because we say I'm hard-headed, whatever I believe in, I would do it no matter the consequence. So when they got through writing the policy, Ellen wanted some adjustment done to it. So he called to talk to me, and I asked him, I said, is that your professional opinion based on your research? He said, yes. I said, publish it. He published it. They didn't want to renew his contract because she didn't want him there. So he came back. And then he applied to ArcelorMittal, and ArcelorMittal gave him a job and went to Liberia. When he got to Liberia, all of a sudden, Ellen wanted him to work for the government. So he either had a choice to stay in Liberia and work to be advisor to her, to leave because they were not going to keep him there. He decided he would take the job, which I was really mad at him. And he said, we can't change Liberia, we have to change it from within. And we got to be radical. And not too long after he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, while he was here, was trying to government, he didn't want to work for the going to research, build a research center in the area, build a house for some young people. And then he came while he was here, he wrote a grant for $1.5 million. Actually, my husband grant because he could barely sit up. So
Oh, internet troubleshooting.
So Isaac, I think you can close us out. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Okay. I think she's having some difficulties with her internet, but I had to attend to things here. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you. Yeah, I think she has some issue.
say that my system went off. I apologize.
Yeah.
Finish my thought and we're close and go.
Yeah, okay.
And so his office, because the Ministry of Youth and Sports is under the vice president. So the Brent were reading through his office. They took the money. And Papa Boaka acted that he didn't know what was going on. And my brother said, yeah, he knows exactly what is going on. So my brother had to leave from here, go back to Liberia, to go to his office to try to get the money, Peter. And he acted that he didn't know. So that when I see Logan. So cute. He is very handsome. Hey. Look at him, Peter himself. and he would not budge. They told him they are not giving him the money. So he said, well, if you don't give me the money, send it back to the Gate Foundation, but you are not going to use it. Okay. And then Ellie came from out of state. My brother went to the Perspective, wrote in the Perspective, and it was so embarrassing. Ellie had to get involved. That for me. And not only that, he came to this state, this man told us in the community that he would not giving money for them to travel. We hosted him. So when I hear Liberian people, so the man taking money from people and what they're saying, I know. Some of you just coming to the place, I know. I dealt with Boaka for a very long time. Yes, you will ask me, did you support him in 2017? I did. But the turning point for me was when under oath, because other people had dealt with him, but in real time, under oath, the men who he had worked with, who he had walked with, who he had sat and ate with, that he went to school with, that he called his friend and brother, that I know had helped him out so many times, financially, physically, here, provided security details for him, make contact for him, allowed them to use his name when Liberia needed to be forgiven, his prestige, his character, his status, to gain credibility, his reputation, so that we get some of their debt waived, so they could get people to come to Liberia to invest. He looked at that man, sat on and put his hand on the very Bible that he's supposed to be a deacon of, and lie. I could never bring myself to that place to support that kind of person. Anything else, I couldn't do it. But I'm going to stop here. So when I'm talking, you don't know, Boaka, you just coming. Some of you are you tried. Some of you are supporting because of your family, for proximity, because your family are in the government and you are gaining. Some of you are supporting, that's your political party. I don't care if that family or that party or that tribe. I care more about in the future of Liberia. Thank you. Peter, you got something last to say?
No, the conversation just needs to continue. Again, okay. I think it's gonna the asshole needs some bad medicine. It's not gonna be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You're gonna get attacked. These people are entrenched. There's a reason why Mr. Boycott called Mr. Cummings a stranger. He knew exactly what he was using. Those words he was using, they were strategically placed. So I think we should get ready for the fight. And anything short of that, don't forget there are people who died. 250,000 Liberians died.
Yes.
Okay. So if you can't, at the very least, support the radicals, talking about letting people call Yeka crazy. How is he crazy? He's literally fighting. He's a principled man. And you can't let people tear that person down. Just like you just said, Yesendi, any ounce of respect I have for Joseph Boycott went out the window, when he never once stood up when people were calling Mr. Cummings a homosexual and said, he's not. I know him. I've known him for a long time. That's what he's
Yeah.
been telling people, right? He knew him for a long time. He doesn't have integrity. I will not respect, and I'm willing to go to war with anyone like that, because now you're threatening the integrity of our country. You're threatening the future of our country and the lives of our children. And I don't have to explain myself to you. So be
Right.
prepared for war. When I say war, I'm talking about whatever means necessary. You're going
Right.
to have to win based on merit moving forward. You're going to have to win based on merit. Some of you guys, because all you do is talk, you think everyone's a talker. So let's see how this game plays out. But we need to organize ourselves as a team, and then we need to do something about it. But thanks for having me tonight. Yes, Andy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Peter. And everyone, good night. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas. I will see you in an hour. I'm going to go live to my mom's house. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Let's continue. Okay. Thank you. God bless and good night. Alyssa, what do you say? It's time to go?